Karen? Let me get Zach.
No. This ain't none of Zach's business, okay?
Okay, it's just me and you.
Here, and I see a stranger.
You scaring me. Are you in danger?
I cannot explain right now. I gotta go. Zach! Zach!
Time is running out.
Karen is missing. Her and Faith are gone.
To prevent...
Like my world was caving in on me.
Just when fans thought the storm between Zach and Fatima was beginning to settle, Sistas Season 9 Episode 13 promises to shake everything up again, this time with a twist that ties back to Karen's mysterious disappearance. The upcoming episode's trailer hints at another round of emotional turmoil, miscommunication, and love caught between loyalty and pride. Episode 12 left us on the edge of our seats as Zach hurried off in the night after getting a distress call from Karen's mom, who feared her daughter was missing. Fatima, still upstairs cooling off after the heated confrontation with Chaz Duncan, had no idea that Zach had left the house. But when episode 13 opens, things take a dramatic and emotional turn. Crescent Moon Fatima alone and restless. Fatima is upstairs, lying in bed, but her mind isn't at rest. The tension from earlier still lingers in the air. She's staring at the ceiling, trying to process everything. The confrontation with Duncan, Zach's reaction, and the uncomfortable realization that trust is something they still have to keep building. The room is quiet, but you can feel the emotional noise in her thoughts. Then her phone rings. It's Karen. That single name on the screen changes everything. Fatima answers, expecting confrontation or maybe even an apology. But what she hears instead shakes her to the core. Karen's voice is weak, scared, and desperate. She's in trouble and needs help, but there's one condition. Please, Fatima, don't tell Zach. I don't want him involved. Without hesitation, Fatima sits up, the seriousness of Karen's tone cutting through all the leftover frustration from earlier. Despite their rocky history, Fatima's compassion takes over. She can't ignore someone in need, not even Karen. Automobile the choice to leave. Fatima quickly gets dressed, her mind racing. She grabs her phone, her keys, and heads downstairs, ready to go find Karen. But when she reaches the living room, she notices something that stops her cold. Zach isn't on the couch. The spot where he was sitting earlier is empty. His phone charger is gone. The TV is off. And the silence of the house feels heavy. Her face falls. For a moment, she just stands there, taking it in. The man who always insists on honesty and communication left without saying a word. That realization stings. In that moment, Fatima feels a mix of disappointment and hurt. Not anger, just that deep, quiet ache of realizing your partner didn't trust you enough to include you. And though she doesn't know it yet, Zach left for the exact same reason she's about to help Karen. So, she makes a decision that will change everything. If he can leave without telling her, she can do the same. Without sending a text or leaving a note, Fatima walks out the door, heading into the night, unaware that both she and Zach are chasing the same mission from different directions. Broken Heart, the crossroads of love and loyalty. This scene is powerful because it captures the biggest challenge in Zach and Fatima's relationship: communication. They love each other deeply, that's never been in question. But sometimes, love gets tangled in pride, independence, and the weight of their pasts. Fatima's decision to go help Karen without Zach's knowledge isn't about disobedience or defiance. It's about instinct. She's a problem solver. She's used to handling things on her own. But Zach sees it differently, as secrecy, as another reminder of the walls that still exist between them. And Zach's choice to leave without telling her. That wasn't about mistrust either. It was about urgency, the instinct to protect, to fix things before they spiral. Both acted from a place of care, yet both ended up creating more misunderstanding. High voltage sign. The trailer scene. A heated confrontation. The trailer teases a fiery confrontation that fans won't forget anytime soon. Zach, visibly upset, is seen scolding Fatima about communication and trust. His words cut deep. "You can't just handle Karen's business behind my back, Fatima. We're supposed to be a team." His frustration is raw, not because Fatima helped Karen, but because she did it without letting him know. From his point of view, it's the same cycle repeating. One person trying to protect the other but ending up causing emotional distance instead. Fatima, on the other hand, doesn't back down. Her voice is calm but firm, her eyes filled with equal parts hurt and pride. She reminds Zach that he also left without telling her where he was going, and that if communication is supposed to be a two-way street, then he can't hold her to a standard he doesn't meet himself. It's one of those rare sisters moments where both sides are right, and both are wrong. Speech balloon. What this means for Fatima. Episode 13 isn't just another lover's quarrel, it's a turning point. This is the first time Fatima and Zach's relationship faces miscommunication in action. They've survived jealousy, exes, and emotional baggage, but now they're dealing with something that's far more dangerous: assumptions. Both of them thought they were doing the right thing. Both thought they were protecting each other. But love without communication turns into chaos, and this episode will likely test just how strong Fatima really is. Still, fans know one thing for sure: Zach and Fatima don't stay broken for long. Their love burns too deep, and their chemistry is undeniable. If anything, this fallout may become the push they need to finally learn to lean on each other. Not just react out of instinct, but truly communicate. Sistas Season 9 Episode 13 is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally charged episodes yet. Fatima's quiet courage, Zach's protective nature, and Karen's mysterious call weave together a story that's equal parts suspense, romance, and heartbreak. As fans wait to see how it all unfolds, one question looms large. Will Zach and Fatima's love survive this latest test? Or will miscommunication become the silent wedge that drives them apart? And why was Karen calling Fatima instead of Andy? Just when fans thought Karen and Fatima had finally buried the hatchet, Sistas Season 9 throws in a twist that no one saw coming. Karen, the woman who once saw Fatima as her greatest rival, picks up the phone in her darkest moment and calls the one person everyone least expected: Fatima. It's a moment that says more than words ever could. A moment that breaks down walls built from heartbreak, jealousy, and pride. But it also raises the biggest question of the episode. Why Fatima? Why now? Let's dive into the emotional layers and unspoken truths behind Karen's decision, and what it reveals about her growth, her pain, and her desire to finally move forward. Broken heart. A woman at the edge. Karen's breaking point. When we last saw Karen, she was a shadow of the fiery, confident salon owner fans met in the early seasons. The woman who used to hold her head high, who fought for love and identity, was now struggling to breathe under the weight of loss and depression. Her world fell apart piece by piece, losing Zach, losing herself in heartbreak, the miscarriage scare, and the devastating truth about possibly losing one twin. Her salon, once her pride and sanctuary, is falling apart. Pam can't keep things together, customers are fading away, and Karen's spirit has dimmed. Her doctor's advice to change scenery wasn't just medical, it was spiritual. Karen needed to escape the noise, the familiar places that reminded her of Zach, of heartbreak, of what she couldn't fix. But before she could make that move, she broke. So when the darkness became too much, when she needed someone who could understand the pain of love, loss, and survival, she reached for the most unexpected lifeline. Dizzy Y Fatima was the one she called. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? That Karen, of all people, would call Fatima, the woman who ended up with Zach, the man she once loved deeply. But when you look closer, it makes perfect sense. Because despite everything, Fatima was the only one who truly understood her pain. 1. Fatima knew Zach, the real Zach. Not the Zach Karen used to chase or the one she built in her imagination, but the flawed, human, complicated Zach. Fatima has seen both sides of him, his potential and his chaos. And that gave her a unique empathy for Karen. 2. Fatima never wanted war. Through all the tension, Fatima never lashed out at Karen the way she could have. She defended her love but didn't destroy Karen's dignity. Deep down, Karen knew that, and respected it. 3. Fatima had the calm that Karen lacked. When the world around Karen felt like it was spinning out of control, Fatima represented peace. She was logical, calm, and emotionally grounded. The kind of woman Karen could trust not to panic or judge. 4. There was no one else she could call. Pam couldn't handle it. Her mom would worry. Danny and Andy were dealing with their own storms. But Fatima, she was on the outside of the circle, emotionally strong, capable, and surprisingly compassionate. For Karen, this wasn't about friendship, it was about survival. Sometimes when a person hits rock bottom, they don't reach out to the person they're closest to. They reach for the one person who feels safest in that moment. And that, strangely enough, was Fatima. Dove hash beyond rivalry, a sign of healing. This call wasn't a plea from a broken woman, it was a sign of growth. By calling Fatima, Karen was silently saying, "I'm ready to let go of the past. I'm ready to stop seeing you as competition. I'm ready to heal." It wasn't about Zach anymore. It was about Faith, the child she still has, the second chance at motherhood she refuses to let pain destroy. It was about finding a way to live again, even after loss. Fatima represented a bridge between Karen's old life and her new beginning. Calling her was Karen's way of facing everything she'd been running from. The truth, the pain, and yes, even her mistakes. It takes strength to forgive. But it takes even more courage to ask for help from the very person tied to your heartbreak. High voltage sign, a twist of fate, the message behind the call. The writers of Sistas knew exactly what they were doing with this moment. This wasn't just another plot twist, it was emotional symbolism at its finest. Karen calling Fatima means something deeper. Sometimes healing comes from the most unexpected sources. It's the universe forcing two women who were once enemies to recognize that their battle was never really about each other. It was about a man, yes, but it was also about identity, closure, and the need to reclaim their peace. By choosing Fatima, Karen was closing the chapter on her old life. She wasn't calling as Zach's ex. She was calling as a woman trying to live again. Speech balloon, what this means going forward. The aftermath of that phone call will shape everything in the episodes to come. Fatima now carries a new emotional burden, one that could either strengthen her bond with Zach or drive another wedge between them. Zach's reaction, seen briefly in the trailer, shows how complicated this situation will get. He's furious, not at Karen, but at Fatima for stepping into her mess again. But what Zach doesn't see is that this isn't about loyalty, it's about empathy. Fatima has always been the voice of reason in Sistas, the quiet hero who does what's right, not what's easy. Helping Karen wasn't a betrayal, it was an act of grace. And for Karen, that call might have been her first step toward freedom. Freedom from the guilt, from the depression, and from the love that almost broke her. Bouquet final thoughts. Karen's call to Fatima is more than just a dramatic twist, it's a beautifully written turning point that reflects the heart of Sistas. Women evolving through pain, forgiveness, and unexpected sisterhood. In that moment, Karen wasn't the jealous ex or the heartbroken mother. She was simply a woman reaching out for peace. And Fatima, despite everything, answered. Because sometimes the person who hurt you the most, or who was once your rival, ends up being the one who saves you when no one else can. Episode 13 is shaping up to be a masterpiece of emotional storytelling, where forgiveness meets redemption, and two women finally find common ground not as enemies, but as survivors.